Welcome back to the pod. Today we have a Fresno State equestrian episode. We have Shelby Robinette, Autumn Bradbury, and Abby Goddard. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Here.
So Sophia's going to start with some fun questions.
So just some quick rapid fires. All right. If your horse's personality was as a human, what would it be like?
Lazy, sitting on the couch, probably take a night in. Yeah.
We have a lot, but I feel like my favorite one, he's very like country club, like probably is in a frat. Like he's a really chill. Like he knows he's really cool and he'll like very much make that obvious.
Okay.
I'd say my favorite one, he definitely people pleaser to the max.
Yes.
And his brain goes about 90 miles an hour. So if you're thinking something, he's definitely thinking it and elevating it to the max.
Very different personality.
Yeah.
Okay, for people who don't know college equestrian, how would you explain what you do in a minute?
So basically, everybody will go out and do a pattern. So we're all in different events. There's going to be 5 starters in each event, and you will go up against another girl from a team, but you guys will ride the same horse. So you'll get 4 minutes to warm it up, figure it out if it's an away horse, and then you go and do your pattern. They do their pattern. The judge is going to score you starting at 70, and then whoever gets a higher score wins their point.
Yeah, so for ours, it's out of 100, so that's really the only difference, and it's out of a draw, and so whatever horse you get and then whoever you go against is completely random. The only thing that's chosen is the 5 horses that are going in and the 5 girls that are going in. But it's put in Excel file, and then they just hit the randomizer button like a ton. And so the coaches can't choose like, oh, this girl rides this horse really well. We're going to put her on that. It's completely random. And it's not like, oh, whoever your quote-unquote best rider is, you can't put it against like the other team's favored rider. So very random, kind of makes it as fair as riding can be when there's like so many variables in it.
It's just like completely different than what we're recruited for, which is kind of the crazy part is obviously we have our horses that we get along with and have had for however long. And so we kind of have to come in here and be able to ride everything and get along with it and be able to out-strategize other people on the same animals. So
all the school horses and the NCAA are typically donated. So they didn't either quite make it in the professional world or they have a bunch of quirks that just don't make them marketable. And so that's how the colleges get them. So they always aren't textbook. They're a little weird, a little different, have like a little quirk that makes them kind of hard to get along with. And if it's an away team, you have 4 minutes to figure it out. And sometimes that quirk doesn't come up in those 4 minutes. And then you're halfway through your pattern. You're like, oh,
there it is.
we have this to deal with. So it's a lot of like thinking on your feet. Like something happens, you have to figure it out really quick. And the ideal thing is what makes a certain college rider great in the college format is if they feel a problem, can sense it, fix it without the judge ever knowing.
Yeah.
The idea is that it looks as perfect as possible, which is something that's really hard for when we get people to come to our meets and they get to see it is like, it doesn't really look like you're doing anything. And we're like, that is the point.
Yes.
That means
Great.
you're doing something right. It shouldn't look like anything is going wrong.
Yeah, like personally coming from, I did every variety of sport growing up, especially a ton of hockey, and I will say without a doubt, riding is very like muscle intensive, a lot of work in that sense, and the point is to make it look like you're literally sitting there doing nothing. But all of us, we get out of a pattern and we're huffing and puffing, like
we're winded.
I'm like vibrating, but yeah.
You guys explained that great. Okay, one thing that people always get wrong about equestrian is
Probably
that
that
we're just sitting there.
looks like we're doing nothing. Yeah,
The horse
yeah.
does all the work, and in the professional world, there's definitely horses that are trained to do that, to do a lot of the work, but even like the best horses, like it is hard, and they're all so different. They all have like, we'll call them like buttons, like we like to call it, like they all have so many different buttons and like that you have to figure out, and there's so many ways to like, one horse to do the movement has to be asked this way, and another horse has to do the movement has to be asked this way. And when you're home, it's a lot easier because we get to ride the horses. But we have about 40 horses, and we sit on a different one every day. Like whatever horse I ride in practice, I probably won't ride it again for a couple weeks. So it's a lot of variety, a lot of differences, and getting to like get on a horse and figure it out. And even the horses that we ride every day at home, the weather's different. They feel different one day. They're just in a mood. Like you're working with a live animal, and so they're different every day. And I think that's something that like you don't really understand unless you're doing it, is they just vary. Even like your favorite.
Yeah.
They wake up one day and they're not in it, and you're like, well, we got to figure out how to make you go around just as if you were in your best day. So that's definitely one thing that doesn't come off as easy as like other sports maybe.
All right, each of you take us through your first memories riding, good, bad, and when you started.
I grew up with this really fun paint mare that my mom had before me, and so she was old and just a tried and true mare, and probably one of my first memories, I was taking her through a trail class which has obstacles and stuff, and it's a set pattern too, and one of the obstacles you had to take this bag from one place to another, and she put her nose in it and just started eating the grain. And I'm like 5 years old. I'm like, great, this is what I do. I came out, I'm crying and everything. And my mom was just like, well, that's just how it goes today. And you get on and you do it again tomorrow. And that's kind of how it goes, I feel like. But that's definitely one of my first and favorite memories.
I started riding. I went to like some random summer camp when I was like 4 years old, and nobody in my family had ever ridden, so this wasn't something that like, oh, you're just gonna do it because your parents did it. Like it was brand new, and I was riding this horse that I really started on, and she was like an old lady. Like she was probably not wanting to be there, and I was just this like little kid that was just like super excited to be there. And you'd have, typically when you're starting, you have like group lessons, so you'll be in the ring with like 5 or 6 like other people, and they're at the same level as you. And my horse would go around and trying to kick all the other horses. And, like, horses kick hard. Like, it's not, like, a friendly thing. And I'm just, like, this little 4-year-old, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just sitting there. I have no control over this animal. And we just go around, and she just tried to kick all of them. And the poor instructor is like, okay, like, turn her away. Like, don't let that happen. No, without fail, I was a liability. Like, we were just out there, did our best, but... yeah, that was like my first like really core like riding memory, and my parents will make fun of me for it like all the time. Like, remember that? I was like, yeah.
And you loved it after.
Yeah, I was like, love it. Like the first time I did it, I loved it. My parents like literally put me in every single sport, just trying to make me well-rounded, and probably wanted me to choose something less expensive. It's an expensive sport, but it's like the one thing that stuck, and I just loved it. Always wanted to go back. Like I begged every like birthday and Christmas, like, can I just go ride? Like, so it stuck, and 20 years later, here we are. Yeah.
So I initially didn't grow up with horses. My mom was a show jumper in England, and my dad did rodeo in Canada, so they were familiar. But once they had my older siblings, they got out of it. But I had a friend that had horses, and I would just want to go to her house to ride her horses. I wouldn't even want to hang out with her. And right, just to go for the horses. But anyway, I begged my parents for like 3 years to let me get a horse, and they just kept pushing it off. And then there was this one weekend where my mom's best friend had these 2 Shetland ponies, these like little mini ponies, and she was like, hey, Abby, why don't you break in the one for me for my little kids to ride? And to break in a horse means to train it to be ridden. And I was 8 years old, and I had ridden only a handful of times. And I was breaking in this horse, and I got bucked off like 20 times. I was like bruised all over, but that pony would go trotting back to the barn, and I would just go following. It was probably so annoying. It was like, oh my God, this little kid. But I don't know. I was persistent, and then my parents were like, okay, she really wants a horse. So 3 days later, we went and picked up my first pony, and I've just been addicted to it ever since. You'd think getting bucked off and like bruised would make you not want to do it, but I don't know.
How does the recruitment process work? And how did you guys get to Fresno State?
I had a lot of friends growing up that I kind of looked up to throughout our sport. You kind of get into your group of people, and you see a lot of people everywhere you go. And so I had a lot of great older friends that were also college equestrian athletes, and so I had a lot of help from them. But it's the same as any other sport. You can't talk to the coaches, and coaches can't really talk to you until the summer before your junior year. So, I mean, before that, I was just getting on anything I could. I knew that the college format was different than the current format. And so getting on any horse I could, getting videos, sending videos, and then talking to coaches and everything when you could was kind of the first steps. And then finding Fresno, I just always felt like I had great conversations with our head coach, Eric Hubbard, and he's currently my coach on the team and everything. But I just kind of, from all of my beginning conversations with him, kind of just felt like Fresno was going to be like a home away from home. And then coming out here, I come from a super small town that's huge into ag and everything, and I didn't realize that's what Fresno was until I got here. And so between the team and that, I just fell in love with it, and it's been nothing but great for me.
So I did jumping, and so there's about like 3 different main kinds of like show jumping. In the hunter jumper side, you have like hunters, jumpers, and equitation. And the equitation's where it's mainly based on the rider. You have more technical like jumping tracks, and it's really based on how seamless you can make the round and how pretty you look, basically. And so that's what a lot of the college coaches are looking for, is equitation, and basically just getting on any horse I could. Whoever would let me on their horse and like wanted me to ride it, wanted me to show it, like that was kind of the name of the game, because college coaches want to see you on a lot of different things. And my last 2 years of high school is when COVID hit, and so I went to online school. And after that, I started working in the barn, working like 6-7 days a week, and it was really intense, but it gave me the opportunity to sit on so many different kinds of horses, and the good ones, the like really young ones who are out of training, the really bad ones, like all of them make you better. And getting a chance to just whoever would film me, I was like, can you just take a video, please? And of me just jumping it around and then sending that to coaches. I recruited basically everywhere. I'm from Indiana, so I'm not anywhere from here. And so I was really open to what schools, and getting to talk to the coaches, you kind of get an idea of how the programs work. Fresno's team is about like 40, so there's other teams that are around the same size, and there's other teams that are a lot bigger. And that was one of the things that drew me to Fresno, just with how intentional the coaches were with making sure all the girls got ride time, and they really put equal time and opportunity into all the girls, which I really loved. And I will say the one really nice thing about our team being 40 is I feel like we are all really close. We get the opportunity to know everybody and like really know everybody. And being so far away, it was nice to have like built-in best friends as soon as I got here. And you got like a 3-hour time change, so getting to like talk to my friends out there was hard, but it made like I was never homesick. Like when I first got here, like I missed home, but it was really nice to have friends immediately. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that really drew me to Fresno, is even when I did calls and stuff, like all the girls were just like so close. Mm-hmm. And that was really nice. And I did all the camps and stuff at all the other schools. I did the whole thing, and like talking to coaches and stuff. And I committed, I want to say my junior or in my senior year, as soon as the like COVID dead period like waived, is when I committed, and been here ever since.
I kind of had a little bit of a different situation. I had no idea that this was even a thing growing up. So when I heard about it, I was like, what? You can go to school for riding? Like, that's so cool. And I had someone that mentioned my name to one of the coaches, and the opportunity came up. And I'm from Canada, and so when I heard, like, California, I'm like, absolutely, that's so cool to be able to live in California. So I did not hesitate, took it immediately. And like Autumn said, being able to have a group of friends, like, already waiting for you made it so much easier. Because moving that far away is scary. Like, there's no one around, and it's pretty hard to just go home for a little bit. So everyone was so welcoming at Fresno State.
So Shelby, you mentioned it, but you came from a graduating class of only 11 people in Colorado.
Yeah.
And the transition to now a Big 12 program, how has that been, and how was the small town background affect who you are today?
I would say if I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't from where I'm from. I grew up with so many people that made me who I am today, and I'm so thankful to grow up in such a small community. I feel like you get to really understand people better. but it was really scary coming from 11 people that I grew up with my whole life, basically, to out here in California and not knowing anybody. But I think it really gave me the perspective that this is the time in my life to, you know, kind of set the new chapters that are ahead of me and get to meet new people and kind of pave that pathway. I would say I'm so thankful for my teammates and everything, because if it wasn't for them, I don't think that I would be where I am today or who I am today. And so I think having them is kind of like my little 11 people from high school, only it's 40 now. So my small group has grown just a little bit, but I kind of like just the same close group of friends. I just feel like it kind of makes you who you are, and thankful for who you have around you.
Abby, were there any culture shocks or things you were surprised about, even just within the college sports scene?
Well, I guess moving to such a populated area was the biggest thing. I've never seen so many people in my life. Yes. And then it wasn't a shock. It was a very nice feeling. The weather here is so nice. I mean, except for like when it's too hot and I feel like I'm going to pass out. But aside from that, those were honestly the two biggest differences, I would say. But being able to be surrounded by girls alike that love horses and love the sport has been my favorite part.
Made you feel at home? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Autumn, you've put up big flat scores, including a career-high 80s against a ranked Oklahoma State team. What was that ride like? Walk us through it.
Yeah, so that was, the ride you mentioned was last year. That was definitely a difficult fall semester for me. It's just a lot of stuff going on. But that ride was so nice. It was the end of our fall season of that semester, so it's a big team. It's a Big 12 team, so they always come to play, and we know that. And that ride was super fun. It was on a horse named Orion that we don't have anymore, but he was super cool. He's like really hot. He's like really you feel like it's like a really charged battery that you're holding on to. It's like a lot of energy underneath you, but he was super. And the best part about this team is like the cheerleaders around you, like whether it's a good ride or a bad ride, like we really lift each other up. And that was just like the best part. Like I can get goosebumps thinking about it. Like when we like enter the box and we do all of our maneuvers and we come out, like you're typically coming out facing the home team. And so, like, the last box of everybody cheering for you, and just, like, the biggest sigh of relief is just, like, oh, like, it was good. And, like, even when it's not, like, everyone still cheers. And, like, but the best moment was just all the girls, like, around me. Like, the ride was good, and I love that ride always. But just, like, everyone being there for you, and, like, all the hugs and the high fives and the cheering, like, it's just, that's the best part. Our team does a really good job of that.
Take us through the atmosphere of a home meet.
Yeah, the home meets are fun. It's a lot of work for the home team because we're not only riding, but we're also in charge of getting the facility ready, getting the horses ready. They have to look as pretty and polished as we do. So it's really fun. We have a lot of like nice family and good fans that come out and want to see us. And it's a very just like hype day. It's a long day. So it's definitely keeping like the cheering up for us can be hard, especially if, whatever the weather is. But it's a lot of cheering for everybody. It's cheering for the girls warming up. It's cheering for the girl who's giving you water. It's cheering for the girl going in. Like I said earlier, we just do a really good job about like everyone feeling important that day, and everyone is the reason why we win or lose that day. We all work together. So I would say it's one thing. It's because it's more of an intimate setting than I would say like a football game or even like a baseball game in that sense. Is you really hear us cheering, like hearing the girls cheer, and so that's a very like unique feeling, and we don't really have the fans cheering for us as much. They're all trying to be quiet and not scare the horses, which we appreciate. But you really hear all the girls, and I think it's something cool to see like other girls on the team supporting the people whether they're riding or not. And so I
think that
really
is
see that.
Probably one of the most surprising things if anybody ever comes out to the meet is how loud we get.
Yeah.
Because that's not something that's very typical in our sport. Like when we go to shows outside of college equestrian, it's usually very quiet. It's like nobody move a muscle, the horse is being good. But in college it's as loud as you can get, and our motto is like, if you have not lost your voice the next day, you did not cheer hard enough.
Okay, so Shelby, you're a fifth-year Bulldog, and now you're competing in both horsemanship and reining after only doing reining last season.
Yeah.
What motivated you to add the second event, and how has that transition gone for you?
It's been everything for me this year, honestly. I'm just so thankful that Coach Mary Brown on our horsemanship side has given me the opportunity to get to participate in both. I grew up showing in the horsemanship and the all-around events, and then I switched to reining in high school, which was a great switch up. I would have never changed it for anything, but sometimes I did miss my roots and everything. And so I could not be more thankful for getting to participate in both this year. It definitely, I feel like, has made me a better rider in both. The horsemanship is much more prim and proper, and you look pretty, whereas like the reining is kind of more of just a mesh between you and the horse and getting the pattern done, and you yourself don't have to look as pretty. So it's been awesome getting to kind of go back to my roots and work on both.
So you all look great on meet days, your makeup, hair. So take us through the routines. Are there any products that you guys use that you love?
Like your hidden secrets too, I need to know that.
I feel like, Abby, you got it. You're the one that always looks like goddess over here.
We can all like wear makeup for the events, but horsemanship especially, we get dolled out to the nines. It's like dance makeup essentially, and we all try to match like a bold red lipstick. But yeah, we'll do the full glam, like eyelashes, lots of eyeshadow, everything that the judge can see from a distance. And then our hair, we put it in a bun, which I love. With the reining, we can have it in a ponytail because it's much more cute. I feel like I look an egg when I bring my bun back. But yeah, we pretty much, it's like dance makeup. We just get as fancy as we can. And then even like our shirts, they're like a shiny like silk looking. So we're supposed to look very pretty.
Yeah, that's fun.
I feel like ours is a lot more traditional, like just with the jumping background. It's very traditional. Like we don't get to have our hair down. That's one thing I wish we could. Like we wear hairnets and it's all like up on our helmet and we just look very, the very traditional thing is even with college, it's looks like what we'd wear in like the professional world. We just have like a cute Big 12 logo, some red piping, but like it's very, very like subtle. Our horses get just as dolled up as we do. Like we will braid their mane the day before, and the jumping seat girls will like put little charms in their mane. Like we have a Valley V charm and a bulldog head and like the bulldog script, and they get to look just as pretty as we do. I feel like all the girls, if not more, yeah, we're like getting dirty just trying to make them look good. But the girls take a lot of pride in making their horse look good, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it kind of just shows kind of our passion and our hard work we care about them looking good, and that's kind of more we do. We don't really go crazy with anything else. We try to look very like similar in that sense, but do fun things for the horse's mane, whether our like red and blue scrimmage, we'll do more red and blue yarn in their mane. Like we've done pink yarn in their mane for like breast cancer awareness, and we'll do different things like that. But it's very simple, very classic on our side.
Yeah, I want to see those charms.
They're really cute. Yeah,
We can get you one. You can add it to your
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
So at away meets, there's a pretty big home field advantage for that team because
Absolutely.
you're riding their horses. You don't
For
take
sure.
your own.
Yep.
They know the quirks that those horses have, and you guys said you have 4 minutes
Yep.
right,
Yeah.
to figure it out before it's time to go score. So for all of you, what's the hardest part about walking into someone else's barn and getting on a completely new horse?
I think it varies on the horse, but I'd say hardest part is I'd say it's twofold. You either watch the girl ahead of you have a really fantastic go, and you're like, okay, they know the horse, and now I have to get on the horse that I don't know and have an even more fantastic go. Or you watch them and you watch the horse's quirks as they go around, and you're like, okay, now I have to take it and try and mask those quirks a little bit better, and they obviously know them. So it's kind of, it's twofold on which one's harder, in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, like, with our random draw, we don't know if we're going to ride the horse first or if they are. So sometimes we don't get the chance to see the horse go around. You know, they have a little warm-up, but they don't actually do any full maneuvers. So, you know, if, let's say I draw the horse first, I have no idea how fancy I can push it, how hard I can go. So I think that's also really hard too, and that's why you really have to utilize the 4 minutes and push it and see what happens. If they're like, nope, can't go that fast, then you got to take it back a notch. And with a bunch of other maneuvers, same thing.
Yeah. It's 50-50 of the home team and away team who goes first on the draw. And they have a 4 minutes with the other team's warm-up riders. But they're not doing the full pattern. They don't have to do everything full out. There's definitely strategy in it of not wanting to show off too much. Like, there is the strategy of, like, wanting to keep some things hidden and not showing a quirk or not showing how fancy they could be, and there's definitely that to it. So getting on first, it's definitely like seeing how far you can push. You kind of want to teeter the boundary of what's too much and what's too less, because typically the more bold you are and the more risk you take, granted if it pays off, like that's what's going to get the bigger marks and the bigger scores. So, but there's also some horses that when you push that hard, it's like a thread that just unravels and unravels, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go back together. So there's that kind of the line of like, can I push hard? And then it works out. Or if you push the horse too hard, now they're like a bag of marbles that you're just running around. You have no idea what you're dealing with. And also, we travel with about 20 girls. And typically with traveling away, you have the Western girls on one half of the facility and then the English girls on another half of the facility. If you have like 5 riding, you now have only 5 girls at the back gate cheering for you versus the 20 that you or 40 that you'd originally have. So it's like 3 girls really trying to make up
Trying to make up for
trying to make up a lot of noise. And of course you have the other school's home team and they've got their 40 girls cheering. So that can be really hard. It gets really quiet, and when you're used to having that much cheering, it's like 3 girls have got to muster a lot of like confidence and encouragement, and it's such a mental sport. It's physical, but so much can happen, and having your brain in the right headspace can allow more good or bad things to happen. So having that cheering is really helpful to kind of keep you present where you're at, keep you locked in. And when it's a smaller team, it's a lot harder to kind of equal out that noise that the home team is giving to their girls.
So take me through whether you've had, on an away trip, you've had a horse where you loved them and you were like, I wish I could take this horse home.
Yeah.
Or a horse that was a lot of trouble. What memories stand out to you?
Probably too many.
A lot of memories.
I have twofold. There was one horse, I believe his name was Rocky at Texas A&M, and he was one that I definitely was like, can we put him on the plane? Like, he was so good. He never tried anything. He was a super talented, flashy horse that I just wish could join any program because he was just a ball to have. There's another one at Baylor, and his name is Floyd, and he is very fun. I just get him every time by luck of the draw. And so every time I'm like, we're going to Baylor. I know who I'm having.
Yeah. It's fate. You should just take him home.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I have a couple. I've gotten the opportunity to draw some really nice horses, and it's honestly incredible the quality of animals that get donated to NCAA teams. We're really fortunate with the pool of horses that are out there, but there's also some that have their quirks. I would say one of my favorites that I've had, probably honestly these might be both from Baylor, but I had one called Teddy on the flat, and he was just super cool, and he was just really fun to ride. It's nice to have ones where you just feel good at what you're doing. Like, they just give you a good feeling, and you're like, wow, like, I'm really able, like, not all the horses you can push on them, and so the ones where you can push and get that fancy movement, and, oh, look, you can get another fancy movement, and it just, like, all comes together. It's just, like, a really, like, high adrenaline feeling, and that's always, like, super fun. You don't get that all the time since the horses are so different. So that was great. I remember, like, winning my point. It was, like, probably my freshman year, one of the first times getting in and first time getting my point away, and it was just, like, a really exciting feeling. And then I have another one, also from Baylor, and his name is Petey, and he's a really good boy. He looks like a giant, like, fat pony. Like, he's adorable. I've had the opportunity to do him both in fences and in flat, so he's done both. And I also think it was my freshman year. And we get a 4-minute warm-up period. And that means you get 4 jumps and fences. And literally my first jump, he slams on the brakes. We're like in the middle of the jump. I fall off. Yeah. Oh. And then you get back on and you're like, okay, like, good luck. You've got 3 more jumps. Like, hope you can turn this around. And so we get back on right in the middle. They stop the timer, restart the timer. I already attempted a jump, so you get 3 more. Did the 3, it was fine. And then he went back in. He was a star and ended up winning my point, so like it's fine. But yeah, it was not a good feeling for little freshman me being like, okay, I just fell off. Let's hope I can pull this together now. But that was kind of a rough day.
Dirt off.
Yeah, they're like getting the dirt, like, okay, you look pretty again, go ahead. Yeah, so freshman year, there was a lot of nerves and just still getting kind of the hang of the format. It's so different than what we do, and it's good moments, bad moments. We kind of get all of them.
Yeah, like with what Autumn said, if you have a rough 4-minute in the warm-up, it's really hard to get your confidence to go then and do your pattern. And ironically, anytime that I have had a rougher warm-up, my go ended up being pretty good. But it's like hard to get back in that mental state. But my most memorable ride was probably last year, the first time I was starting in the reining. I rode this horse named Ryder, and he had the longest, most beautiful mane, like it draped so far down, and he was such an amazing horse, and I was so scared. I was so nervous because I wanted to do good for my team. It was my first time, going out and doing the reining pattern. And, he was a blast. It was so much fun. Yeah. And so handsome. He was such a beautiful horse.
And she killed it, too.
Yeah.
First time
she's missing that part.
As I'm like.
Yeah. The adrenaline.
Yeah. I feel like that's the hard thing is there's so much pressure that you put on yourself, like not only for yourself to do well, like we're all very competitive people. So for our own like competitive side of being an athlete, like we want to do well, but there's the even bigger portion of we want to do well for our team. Yeah. There's 20 points up for grabs, and every point matters. And there's the girls, like you really just want it so bad for yourself, but you almost want it even more for the girl next to you because it's out of their control how well you do. They can cheer as loud as you can, but there's just a lot of pressure. We love each other. Like we love the team. We love the coaches. Like we just really want to do well for them. So that's like a whole nother side of pressure.
But I think that's also what's so different about our sport is, like, other sports, you play a full game and, like, you can have a bad whatever and the game, like, keeps on going and you have more chances to kind of put up points for your team. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, our sport, you get one pattern. You get one go. And if it doesn't go well, oh well, for the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of preparation for, like, 3 minutes. That's how long our go is. It's about 3 minutes, and that's probably on the longer side. Yeah. So it's a lot of effort, and then it almost feels like the pressure adds up, and sometimes the pressure feels really good, and you can kind of use that, and it fuels you, and then we all have different days, and sometimes the pressure can be harder, but I would say, like, the pressure, like, none of the other girls are putting that on you. Like, you're wanting it for them. Like, we all put it on ourselves. Yeah. Like, none of the other girls are like, oh, you have to, like, no, our team's great, but it definitely adds up, and we all just want it really bad, and I think that shows.
Talk to me about Coach Eric.
No, Coach Eric's great. He's definitely the one that brings the energy for us. The night before meet days, he's usually the one getting us all hype with our speech of what to expect for the next day, but also kind of bring in some realities of, this is either going to be a hard meet or, don't walk in there too confident and leave stuff on the table. Make sure that you're covering your end for things. But he also definitely is the first person to make any of us laugh, whether it's intentional or not. Yes. But I'd say he's definitely who all of us look to for kind of what energy to bring ourselves. If he's kind of loud and energetic, we need to match that. And if not, then we kind of follow suit that way.
So personally, he's my head coach, but then I also have an assistant coach that I typically will work more closely. So it's really interesting to like build our relationship over the past 4 years. I feel like he's seen me through a lot of stages of life, which is really just like fun how college works that way. It's a lot of building years, but he's really great. Keeps us very organized, just keeps us on a good time schedule throughout the day. So that's also nice. But since I don't work with him one-on-one in the rink, it's really interesting to see like how our relationship is built. Like, so we have meetings monthly and just the fun interactions. I feel like he's very down to earth and really cares about making sure we have like a good relationship with him. There's a lot of girls on the team, and he definitely puts effort to know about me. He'll ask me how my dog is and like ask about my day, and like genuinely cares about the classes I'm taking and wants to know how they're going. And like I had a really hard class last semester that I had with a couple of other girls on the team, and he'd ask me like, how's that class today? Like, I know you have it today. Like, how's it going? And, like, it's honestly like he's not required to do that. He's not expected to do that. So having a coach that even when I don't get to work with him one-on-one, cares about my day, cares about my life, like it's really nice. And I definitely don't take that for granted.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's so busy, but he always manages to get a good chit chat session every single day. And yeah, like Autumn said,
we'll chat.
We have like these meetings that we'll do, and he'll just, how are you? How's classes? Like, just we'll chat it up with you whenever you want. And yeah, he still takes the time to do that, no matter how busy he is.
You don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to be 3 minutes or 3 hours,
Yeah.
but you will.
You'll be chatting.
Yes, yes.
Who are some athletes that you looked up to growing up or you still look up to now?
I personally, my mom was who I looked up to. I mean, she rode horses her entire life, and I felt like she just had a really good perspective on our sport. I mean, these horses, we pull them out of a stall and we ask them to do all of these things that they aren't required to do, and they have bad days just like us, and so it's not fair to take anything out on them. And so I feel like she's somebody who kind of installed so many of those awesome things in me to kind of keep in mind, especially coming to college when you have so many horses with so many different attitudes themselves to kind of work with.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I grew up with a lot of different trainers. I knew from like middle school that I wanted to ride D1, and like that was my main goal, and I did whatever was possible to get there. And so I got to work with a lot of different trainers, and they all shaped me in their own different ways of making me who I am. My last trainer being most notable, it just really like reminded me of the love for the sport. And so there's like two different sides. Like I have those athletes that I look up to, and of course like the Olympians. Show jumping is an Olympic sport, so we have the Olympians that I've gotten to work for one, and seeing them at a top level, and it's a whole different kind of pressure, is really inspiring. But I also think the other side of that is a lot of the girls who are also on college teams, I think, are just as inspirational, getting to see girls that like I grew up with and I grew up competing with them, and getting to see them do the same thing I do but at a different school. Like I think we all cheer each other on, and it's kind of the cool thing about getting to travel to other schools. I get to see some of my old friends that I grew up competing with, and I think they're just as inspiring. They're doing the same thing I'm doing, and just having that relatable sense. And even the other girls, other schools that are doing really great things, it's great to have those to kind of look through as goals and like seeing what's possible, and it kind of just gives you that spark and just really keeps you going in the sense where sometimes the highest athletes, like they're not quite doing what we're doing. So that's also hard, but I definitely think that's a nice thing for us. We can like look to other girls on other schools and just kind of get that inspiration as well.
Yeah. Small world, right?
Yeah, it's a small world. Definitely. Everyone knows everybody, and you grow up like competing on a circuit, and it's all the same people going just to different places, and so you get to build a lot of relationships that way, which is really nice. And the equestrian sport in college is an emerging sport. It's just becoming more and more popular. There's so many girls that want to do it, and it is so competitive to get recruited onto a school, and you just kind of build the relationships that way, and it's inspiring. Like it's the older girls who inspired me to want to ride and getting to follow in their footsteps, and I'm sure a lot of girls are doing that for the younger generation, and so that's always really fun.
I kind of just looked to all my friends growing up, like, oh my gosh, she's so good and she's so good. And then, but honestly, mostly when I got to college as a little freshman and I saw some of the seniors, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's who I want to be when I grow up. So yeah, honestly, my teammates were my biggest mentors and girls that I wanted to ride like when I was older.
Oh, sweet. All right, two last things for me. Looking at your spring schedule, what are you guys excited for?
Everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're kind of in a
Ready.
spot right now that we're we're teetering the line for getting to go to nationals, which is probably one of the biggest things that our team wants so bad is to get to go. And so I mean, every single one of these meets is going to mean if we get to go or not. So just putting our heads down, getting through it, and supporting each other, I think, is one of the biggest things, I think.
Yeah, our schedule looks really good this semester. It's definitely we've got some hard teams that we're going against. Always our Big 12 teams are what have a lot of pressure on them. It gets scored differently how we compete against the girls in the Big 12, and we're all seniors, so it's our last semester here. So we're gonna want to finish it out really strong, and we'll have postseason as well with Big 12s, and so that'll be a good opportunity for us to just kind of show where we're at. I think our team is at a really good spot right now, and hopefully it's just upward momentum here on out. Nationals is for sure the goal, and really, really hopeful for us. It's our goal last year, so I know we all want to get there.
Yeah, but I think we were all pretty happy with our fall semester, and then this semester we're hitting the ground running. We got extra practices Fridays, Saturdays, so we're coming in hot.
Yep.
And then lastly, for members of the community that haven't been to a college equestrian meet, what would be your pitch to get them out there?
It's unlike any other sport you've probably ever been at. It's way more exciting than I think anybody would guess or assume, and I'm assuming that it would be something that you would get to see for the first time ever and be like, wow, why didn't I get to come to this sooner? I mean, you get to see our love for the horses, you get to see the horses get to do different things, and I think overall it's just a very good, upbeat, and hype time that anybody would enjoy, I think.
It's like the one time you get to see all 4 disciplines at the same time, which you really don't get to see anywhere else, which is super cool. And it's on campus, free admission, and there's a lot of parents that would love to tell you anything about the sport. And we do our best there's minimal teammate to fan interaction, but we do our best to kind of talk about, we have really good announcers that'll talk about what's happening, and because if you don't know what you're looking at, it is hard, and so we get that, but we try to make it digestible, and for the people around you, anyone would love to answer a question and talk about it. Everyone who's there is really passionate about what we do.
Yeah. It's loud. People are cheering. We have food trucks.
Yep.
We got music going on. We usually have a little merch stand or raffle stuff that baskets people will make that you can draw. So, and then sometimes we'll bring out a horse. You can come and feed carrots or something. So everyone's welcome.
All right, ladies. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
And we'll see you next time on The Pawd.